Welcome. Today we shall be focusing upon the transcendental synthesis format features. We have to glimpse these transcendental synthesis format features to have the imbibing of the organization format features of the text of Srimad Bhagwad Geeta, and also for to be parallel with the mathematics, sciences and technologies of this domain of knowledge. The concept transcendental synthesis format features will have a central term which is a transcendental, and this word transcendental as such we know is taking us to 5 space. So we have to glimpse these 5 space format features, and 5 space as such is going at the center of the 4 space. So hypercube 4, representative regular body of 4 space, is having 5 space in the role of an origin. Therefore today our focus is upon the origin of a 4 space, 5 space as origin of a 4 space. 5 space as origin of a 4 space makes a format at the origin, and this format is of features which are designated as transcendental features. We are saying these are transcendental synthesis format features. This would mean that within 4 space the manifestation is 4 folds, means each are hypercubes, because here the all dimensional order is spatial. Because of the spatial order, 2 spaces play the role of a dimension. 2 space being role of dimension, it has a pair of axes as a format. Therefore, within a surface, we shall be having interval and surface both. This surface, within a surface, is of distinct features, and this surface, which is within the surface, is in fact fulfilled with the values from the origin. And 5 space is the origin of 4 space, and 3 space plays the role of an origin of 2 space. It is for this reason that when we depict the organization flow format, then we put Pushpika, means a 4 space, and we depict here solid cube, means we are focusing here that cube here is playing the role of 3 space as dimension of 5 space, and 5 space itself is playing the role of an origin of a 4 space. Therefore today our focus should remain to glimpse this 5 space as origin. 5 space is of a solid order, and this solid order itself is playing the role of an origin of a 2 space. 2 space is playing the role of dimension of a 4 space. So all these things are simultaneously happening, and these are lively in this particular format. Therefore our focus is to glimpse. We have to glimpse this origin, which is a 5 space. It is of a solid order. Further, we have to glimpse that this 5 space within 4 space would mean that it is 3 space which is playing the role of an origin of a 2 space. Therefore, we are depicting here that if we are having a cube which has triple axis, and when this cube is flowing through the spatial order, then in fact it is the origin of 2 space which is in translation state. Therefore, the chase here is a chase of the flow translation, a dynamic state of the origin of a two space. Three space as origin of two space is translating and is reaching up till the origin of a four space. This three space, which is the origin of a two space, when is in a dynamic state, then the four space creates, two space creates four space, and three space as origin creates the five space as an origin of a four space. Let us have a pause. Cube is hypercube 3. It is a representative regular body of a three space. Cube as a representative regular body of three space is having a raised to power 3 is to 6b square as domain boundary ratio. That means the domain part, the volume part of cube is enveloped within 6 surface plates. When these 6 surface plates are separated or taken off, it would mean that the domain itself is left in a state when it is not having any boundary. We know cube is having 6 surface plates. So 6 surface plates, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When we reach at a zero state, means the cube with no surface plate being intact. So it is the 7th state. It is this 7th state which will be having a 7 streams of flow. It is this zero signature geometry of three space having a flow, and being a zero signature geometry, it reaches up till the 4th component. Being a zero signature geometry, it flows from a bindu Sarovar and sequentially reaches the 4th component. This makes a range starting with value 7, reaching at value 4, and it makes a value 47. Let us sit comfortably. Let us visit this organization format and see how the transcendental synthesis format features are at work here in this organization format when a three space body in its zero signature state as the 7th geometry as a flow of 7 streams, being of a zero signature, it gives us a reach up till 4 space. We know that 4 space is having 2 space in the role of and dimension, and then zero space is a dimension and dimension. Note down that this zero signature state is parallel to the organization format of zero space playing the role of a dimension. It is this zero signature geometry of the format of a zero space playing the role of a dimension of a 2 space, and 2 space itself is playing the role of dimension of a 4 space, and hence there is a reach from a bindu Sarovar up till the origin seat of a 4 space. It is this reach which in its applied values amounts to that there is going to be a flow from the orb of the sun, a 6 space body, and reaching up till the core of the earth, a 3 space body stabilizing in 4 space because of 4 space as an origin of a 3 space. This is a long chain of features as such, but we have to glimpse this happening. This happening is to be glimpsed as of transcendental synthesis format features. It is a synthesis features as here we are reaching from 3 space to a 4 space. 3 space role to from the dimension role, from the origin role of here, and ultimately becoming the dimension role of a 5 space. Many features, large number of features as such are there, but these are the generalized compactified set of features. From chapter 1 to chapter 18, we shall be sequentially reaching at by having their split distinct roles at different phases and stages of this organization. Here the view being given is a broader view, the overview as to how the origin, transcendental origin, 5 space as origin, as base of a 4 space, as a format for sustaining the origin of a 4 space. It gives us features which synthesize themselves, and this synthesis in fact is that the Jyoti which will be flow from the orb of the sun and which will reach up till the core of the earth will, as a Pushpika, as a fulfilled Pushpika, it will have a transcendence back. It is the 5 space fulfilled. So here these 3 spaces in order will have a reverse orientation. We have noticed the trans from A, first vowel is 1, -1 and -3, total value 3. Or from the third vowel, it is going to be 3, 1 and -1 and value is -3. It is this feature which stands attained, and it is this attainment which gives a reversal of an orientation. So this aspect as well is to be comprehended well, and we will take it systematically, step by step, and in very small and very gentle steps it will be taken up. But here it will be taken as a broader view, that in broader comprehensive view that the Srimad Bhagwad Geeta is having for chapter 1, and in fact for all the 18 chapters, the transcendental synthesis format. And this transcendental synthesis format features are to be glimpsed by us, and we have to glimpse them sequentially. First step for it could be that we know that Lord Brahma is the overlord of a 4 space. The TC value of Brahma is 29, and we know 29 is the feature which is 16 plus 13, and this is the feature, the values range from 1 to 16, gives us total factors 29. We know the Samved is having 29 archics. But a step to be glimpsed fully is that Lord Brahma meditates within the cavity of his own heart, where is the seat of a transcendental Lord Shiv, and at the grace of a Lord Shiv, Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas. It is a reach which deserves to be comprehended. As we know, a raised to power 4 is equal to 8b3. It is that the 4 space domain is enveloped within a boundary of 8 solid components. But as a step ahead, a raised to power 5 is equal to 10b raised to power 4. The transcendental domain, the 5 space domain, is enveloped within a creative boundary of 10 components. It is this transition and a reach which is the enlightenment of the process of Lord Brahma meditating within cavity of his own heart and multiplying as 10 Brahmas. Lord Shiva, 5-head Lord, is transcendental Lord. Lord Shiv is having a seat within the cavity of the heart of Lord Brahma. Lord Shiv is the presiding deity of a 5 space. 5 space is playing the role of an origin of a 4 space. Lord Brahma, 4 space overlord, meditates within cavity of his own heart at the origin seat of the transcendental Lord, and the grace of Lord transcendental Lord, Lord Brahma multiplies as 10 Brahmas, which would amount to that 4 space as domain is transiting and transforming into its new role of 4 space as boundary of 5 space, and the 4 space creative space as boundary is a setup of 10 components. It is this transition which is being attained. And also we know that 4 space is having 9 geometries range. It is this 9 geometries range which is of a transcendental base, and it takes us to 10 boundary components. So Sutra 1, Ganita Sutra 1 is giving us a linear progression, one more than before. So we can go on proceeding. However, at second sutra we know all from 9 and last from 10. It is this feature of all from 9, last from 10, which takes us to a 10 place value system. Initially, one more than before, it gives us a linear progression, and it continues, and it can be continued up till any phase and stage of any number of steps, even up till the point one less than, where the infinity would be there, where transformations would be there. Or in other words, when we are having a 0, 1 double digit system, then at 10 we are having an orientation back. The digits 0 and 1 swap their places. There happens a reflection pairing with the starting point. It is this feature which is at work. As such, we have to appreciate the role of the Mool Ank, means the basic numbers. It is 9 numerals range. Now we know here the value is 21 plus 8, 29, which is equal to the TC value of Lord Brahma. Now this TC value is of a 4 space. Here we know that the reach here is a reach which is taking to the Brahma, and we know 9 is a now Brahm. 9 means now, and it is a Brahm. So we are reaching at now Brahm. And we know Brahm has a TC value 28. And we also know that Ganita Sutra 2, Nikhilim Navashchata Charmam Dashata, is having 7 plus 14 plus 7 is equal to 28 letters. It is of the format 17, 14 and 7. It is of the format of 2, 1 and 1. Means at the middle center of the line, 1 space is 2 space in the role of an origin of a 1 space. All these features are simultaneously playing their role. Now let us see the summation value from 1 to 9 is 45. Let us have a pause here and take note that the Gita Parinam Shloka enlightens us that the text of Srimad Bhagwad Geeta is in fact an enlightenment of 745 shlokas range. So this enlightenment of 700 shlokas being at 745 would mean that we are having the Moolank, the 4 space as a base, as available to us while reaching at the organization format of this text of 700 shlokas. Now this text is taking us to value 5 at a middle placement. Now this 5 is a Madhya Brahm, and Madhya Brahm we know is of TC value 47. Now 45 is the range. If it is taken 45 as a dimension, the domain value would be 47. So this also is the feature which deserves to be comprehended well to have a further appreciation of the discipline of the first yoga, the Arjan Vishad Yoga of the text of Srimad Bhagwad Gita. Now this text 1 to 9 is range, will be giving us 9 numerals, and the placement of 5 at its middle will provide us a bend here. It is this bend which will give us 5 cross 5 grid, and this leads us from vowels, from 9 vowels to 25 Varga consonants, and further we know that 5 cross 5 grid will be leading us to 4 cross 4 zones, and these are the remaining letters. This feature takes us to that this range, because of a middle, because of an origin, because of a center, splits into a pair of transcendental ranges. These pair of transcendental ranges here are of value 35 and it is of value 15. It makes a value 50, but this 5 is common. Therefore, this feature is also to be viewed. So 5 is an expressed value, 5 is an unexpressed value. 5 is a domain which splits into a pair of domains. So 5 space as a domain is splitting into and making it a pair of domains. It is this split which gets synthesized, and it is this synthesis of this particular domain, transcendental domain, which is the point of focus of present session. In the present session, our focus is that we shall glimpse the transcendental synthesis format. Now, the 5 space splitting as a pair of 5 space domains, and there being a synthesis of the both, and we know synthesis of 5 and 7 takes us to 7. And further we know that it is the 6 space as an origin which splits 5 space domain, and this split 5 space domains synthesize and lead us to value 7. So this dimensional synthesis, and it is a dimensional split. So dimensional synthesis and dimensional split are the pair of features which are to be comprehended by us for to be parallel with the Vedic systems. The first phase of the system we have seen is the phase when we have been working in terms of the TCV values. We are drawing table of each word formulation, and this table is a table of 10 features of transcendental code value. This reach at the TCV value tabulation for each word formulation be taken as the first phase of a reach. To be parallel with the Vedic systems, the first phase is achieved by being parallel with the TCV values tabulation of 10 features for each word formulation. The word formulation Gita, the word formulation Krish, word formulation Arjun, word formulation Arjun, Vishad, Yog. All these word formulations at a first phase of glimpsing will bring us face to face with the tabulation of 10 features for each word formulation. Once it is attained, once we have glimpsed, when we are parallel with this transcendental flow, this TCV values expression as a range of 10 features making a TCV value tabulation, then a stage will arise that there will emerge pair and pairs of word formulations which will be having the same value at each of the 10 phases and stages of a TCV value formulation. The illustration which we had taken in the previous session has been Yam and May. The Yam and May are the pair of formulations which lead us to TCV value 12 each, and all the 10 features are identical for both these formulations. Both these formulations have their very significant role in the organization of the Vedic systems. Yam are the letters of Devanagari alphabet. These are 8 letters of Devanagari alphabet. And Me is the individual to whom God Surya Dev had imparted the knowledge. The knowledge, the enlightenment of the phenomenon of a Surya was imparted by Surya himself to Me. And we know that in Srimad Bhagwad Geeta, Lord Krishna is preserving an enlightenment that it was Lord Krishna who had given the enlightenment to Surya. So it is Gita which is taking us to a stage when the Surya was imparted enlightenment by Krishna. And the TCV values are restricting us only up till when Surya has imparted this knowledge, this enlightenment to Me. So in terms of TCV values, we are simply having a reach of this second phase enlightenment. The first phase enlightenment from Krishna to Surya is the enlightenment stage upon which we have to enter upon. And this would mean that we have to now have a unfolding for the Gita from the Gita text itself. So Gita is the only source with us in terms of which we can enter this first phase of enlightenment. Take an illustration that Yoga Nishtha and Sankhya Nishtha are to run parallel to with each other. We had seen how the value 12 and 20 have been reached identically when we reach at the factors from values 1 to 12, which take us to value 20. Now let us today enter upon initiation for this phase. And this phase can be entered properly if we see that Srimad Bhagwad Gita is organizing sequential manifestation expression, Vyakta, then it is Avyakta, then it is Sanatana, and ultimately it is a Purush. Fifth stage is Purushottam. But here let us take the first 4 stages. No, it is a value 15 TC, it is 16, and it is 28. See, this value is 59. And the significance of value 59 is that there are 59 vachas. It is divine dialogue of Srimad Bhagwad Gita being punctuated 59 times. There are 4 participants, Dhritarashtra, Sanjay, Arjuna, and Lord Krishna, Shri Bhagavan himself. These 4 participants have 59 punctuations beginning with the initiation of the sole shloka utterance of Dhritarashtra and reaching up till the last shloka uttered by Sanjay. Now these 59 punctuations are the punctuations which are taking us only up till Vyakta, expressed, unexpressed, and eternal. Now Vyakta, Avyakta, and Sanatana are the 3 phases and stages which are taking us to the 59 punctuations of the divine dialogue of 700 shlokas range. And then the Purusha. It is here where Purusha is Krishna himself. It is the enlightenment by a Krishna. And it is of value 19. And this value plus 19 take us to value 78, and this value is the value of the 78 shlokas range of the last chapter, Moksha Sannyas Yoga. Now it is this reach of this organization with which we want to be parallel. So to be parallel with this organization format, we have to glimpse transcendental synthesis format for the 6-space Surya, splitting 5-space domain into a pair of 5-space domains, and these pair of 5-space domains getting synthesized because of the spatial order of a creator's space whose origin is the transcendental origin. And it is this synthesis which is to take us to the Dhruv or 2-value 7-space or a Dhruv of TC value 19. So 6 as 6-space as a space presided by Lord Vishnu, and Dhruv, the 7th space, presided by the unity state of value of Lord Krishna. So how there happens to be a split of a dimensional transcendental domain, 5-space domain into a pair of domains, and how there has to be synthesis of the pair of 5-space domain synthesizing as transcendental pair of dimensions as a 7th space, and 7th space is the unity state format of the Dhruv, and Dhruv is of TC value 19. So let us start glimpsing the transcendental base of the creator's space. 5-space in the role of an origin of a 4-space, with 6-space as an origin of a 5-space. 6-space as an origin splits 5-space domain into a pair of 5-space domains, and then these pair of 5-space domains, because of the spatial order, are reuniting or synthesizing. So it is the transcendental synthesis format features which are to be glimpsed by us and which are to be imbibed by us to be parallel with the organization format features of the text of Srimad Bhagwad Geeta, and to be parallel with the Vedic systems of the mathematics, science and technology of this domain of the organization of the text of Srimad Bhagwad Geeta. Thank you.